Alrighty YouTube, it's your boy Zxous and we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. And in today's video we're going to be talking about if you should be summoning for Mast. And now Mast is a crit support buffer, that's her whole kit. And she is a debuffer as well with the defense decrease. And there's something that this character actually, I didn't mention in my first initial video for her, but she's actually going to be better off, better than I thought in terms of this first skill where she has to fall below 70% HP. If you guys watch my initial reaction, I was like, this is a good effect here, but the problem is that she has to fall below 70% HP and she's not has no way of taunting or anything like that. And if you have a healer, she will never get there. Right, but I actually totally forgot that her burst skill increases her max HP without restoring her HP. So the moment you use her burst skill, she's actually going to be less than 70% HP because her max HP is increased by 86.2% and the HP you currently have will no longer be there. So you will be damn near like very low on HP actually. You have a lot of HP, but you will be low on HP if that makes sense. Right, so yeah, they're going to guaranteed have that 70% buff. You're definitely gonna have that crit damage buff the moment you use her burst skill, and then that's going to be good because that's within the 30 seconds of her crit rate. Now one thing about this character is I think she's a character that's going to be very beneficial for every single like your main DPSs. Right, if you really want like a crit, I think this is the character to have if you want that crit team. If you want like your characters to like guarantee crit or like at least hit very hard when they crit, I think Mast is gonna be a pickup for that. Now she is a wishlist character, but I'm not gonna say to skip because of that, because at the same day, at the end of the day, you're not guaranteed wishlist characters. I mean, you are, but you're not guaranteed her specifically on wishlist. She can be on your wish list for the next 3 years and you're not guaranteed to pull her, right? That's just how the reality is, right? It's a gotcha at the end of the day, right? But on her banner, you are guaranteed her with golden tickets. I think this is a character that will benefit most players. Now, another thing you have to keep in mind is the more banners that go past, now that we're in the second half of the year, the more banners that go past within the second half of the year, the closer we get to near. So those are other things you have to consider. But I think this character actually might be very beneficial for your account in terms of having that crit damage, right? If your main DPS is Scarlet, with this character, she's just going to be doing way more damage. Heck, even if your main DPS is Scarlet and Modernia, right? A character like this will be very broken for those two specifically, right? Because you're going to have them as your highest attackers, right? They're going to have the highest attack and both of them are going to get the crit rate and crit damage buff from the burst skill, the first skill, and then the crit rate from the second skill, right? So I think this character might be a pickup, right? I wouldn't say she's a must-have, right? She's not like, you know, breaking. I mean, I wouldn't say she's breaking the game, but she's not like a must-have where it's like if you don't have her, you just can't do anything. But she's definitely going to be one of the most beneficial characters for your account, right? Especially when it comes to your main DPS. Being Scarlet, Modernia. Heck, you know, actually, fun fact, this is good because she's an Elysian character, right? The reason why this is very good for Elysian is because another character that's Elysian, actually, now I'm thinking about it, is Guillotine, right? And if it works the same way where it increases their max HP, but the remaining HP doesn't get restored, Guillotine will have her buff, this buffed up buff where attack is increased by 0.96% for every 1% loss when your HP falls below 70%, will be affected or activated instantly, right? It will be activated instantly. Not to mention, she increases her crit rate herself, lowers her HP even more, and then she also what's it called, right? When her HP is below 50%, she does more damage. She's gonna have the crit buff when she lands 150 normal attacks. She's gonna be increasing her crit rate, right? So this is another character who will be very, very good beside Mast, and she's an Elysian. I think Mast here is actually a very, very big W for the Elysian category for the tower. Now, one thing she's not gonna work with is Solene, because Solene wants to be at max HP. So that's a bit unfortunate, but she works very well with Guillotine, right? So you don't use her with Solene, you use her with Guillotine, and then there you have like pretty good damage right there. Now herself isn't really doing damage, I don't think, because she's an SMG. One, so her damage is going to be very mediocre, and two, all she's doing is increasing crit damage and crit rate. She's not doing damage or dealing damage herself, like insanely. Like the damage that this girl provides is literally only from her normal attack. So don't expect her to do anything crazy, right? Literally, it's as simple as that. But I think this is a character that I don't want to say is a must-have, but it's definitely not like a must-skip, right? There's no question. She's definitely not a must-skip. I think especially if you do plan, if you want to have like a full DPS team, or if you want to have a team that like really surrounds, or if you like building teams that surround your main attackers doing the most damage, then this is a character you definitely want to have, right? So what I mean by that is, if you don't like bringing, like for your burst 2, you don't want to bring Senti or Blanc or like a defender there, and you want that burst 2 character to be someone who's supporting your attackers, this character might be the best option for that, especially if you're running Scarlet and Modernia. If you're running those two specifically, then this character will be like a, I don't want to say a must for them. That word seems like a stretch. But she'll be like one of the best options, if not the best option for her in that burst 2 situation, right? For that like attack buff, right? Who was there before? Or not attack buff, but that damage buff, right? Who was there before that was doing it? Let me see. Admi was Reload. Arya was doing an okay job, but not like, definitely not doing as good as Mast, right? Rupee was doing a good job. Dala was doing a good job, right? But I think overall, like Mast would just be providing much more, especially since it's like continuously, right? When your HP is below 70%, and someone like Modernia is definitely going to be critting with or without the crit rate buff. She's going to be critting like crazy. Not to mention Sakura, I keep saying Sakura. Scarlet is also going to be critting as well, right? So that's is definitely a character for the players, because most people use Scarlet and Modernia. Like, it's just the reality of the situation. And even if you don't, and your main DPS is Guillotine, which I know a lot of people are using now, or even Alice, right? Alice crits like crazy too, right? Alice crits quite often. At least my Alice crits quite often. It's very good pickup for your DPS. So for a main DPS support, one of the best options in the game. I would say, you know, she is a pickup for a lot of players. If you focus on having a team that surrounds or a team that, like, how do I word this? If you build a team surrounding around your DPS, if that makes sense. So if your main DPS, for example, is Scarlet and Modernia, and then your burst 1 is someone who buffs up Scarlet and Modernia, and your burst 2 is someone who buffs up your Scarlet and Modernia, and then the last slot, which is either burst 1, 2, or 3, also buffs up your Scarlet and Modernia. Like, if you're making a main team that just does their job to buff up your main attackers, this is going to be one of the best options for sure, right? So I do think she is a pickup for a lot of people, especially if you do main Modernia, if you do main Scarlet. I think this is your character is a good pickup. And she's also a great pickup for just the Elysian Tower, right? This is definitely a character you're going to want to have for the Elysian Tower, right? If that massive damage buff or crit damage buff, definitely going to want to have this character. So I think she is going to be a summonable character. I think you should summon for her. You could skip her if you don't want to have a team that surrounds around, you know, or you don't want a team that surrounds around your main I just said the same thing. Your main DPS, but overall, I think this is a very good pickup for a lot of players. So you guys let me know what you think. Again, not a must-have. If this is not something, don't feel like you need to have this character today or the moment her banner goes live. But this is definitely a character who will be very beneficial for your account and for in the long run, guaranteed, right? Right, in PvP, she'll make your character stronger when she loses her HP, unless she just dies instantly, right? Which she probably will. But she's increasing her max HP by a lot too. So if you can keep her around for that long, right? Prime workout, she might be very good there. Against bosses, always going to be very good against those, you know, increasing your max HP. That's going to be quite good. Especially if you can, like, get, for example, Nero. What if you get Nero to have her max HP increased, like, with this skill, and then her already increasing her max HP? She'll have so much HP. Don't try that. It's definitely not something you want to do, but I think Mast is a character that you should summon for if you use Modernia and Scarlet. But just remember, I'll have a before you summon video like I usually do, but just remember those simple things, right? That she's a you know, wish list character. She's not a character that's like a must-have, but she's definitely like a beneficial character. This is a W character for the Elysian manufacturing group, I think. But you guys let me know what you think. It's your boys Zxous. I'll see you guys next one. I'm out. Peace.